needs to concede, retire, enjoy the rest of your life.
What is about
this? This
gerontocracy seems like it's intractable.
Why not have an AOC and a Jasmine Crockett who, quite frankly, are never scared?
Never.
Of Donald
and can
Trump
communicate with regular people about regular things. I mean, AOC and Jasmine Crockett are probably two of their best communicators.
We need messengers to make sure that people are paying attention to all these hearings on Capitol Hill, to communicate to voters. I don't agree with what Bernie Sanders said, that we've abandoned the working class people. No. We actually are the party of working class people.
It's a new day in America, folks, where you have someone like Joy Reid on MSNBC criticizing the Democratic Party. Hear, hear. Now, of course, this has to do with the Democratic leadership, in this case in the House, refusing to kind of step aside and allow for younger members of Congress to take the reins, to serve in leadership roles.
That's going to be the theme of this for me today. This is Ana Kasparian, highlighting what Joy Reid was talking about there, that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Jasmine Crockett both need to be amplified. I can see AOC, even though I have a problem with her, that she does not go after Democrats, but she does say things that I agree with at times. I do not agree with Jasmine Crockett. She's just she's not as smart to me as AOC. Some people think AOC is stupid. I do not agree with that. But the theme of this to me isn't even about them. Whoever it is, it's time to get rid of the old folks' home. Why is Washington, D.C. a retirement home for people to grift off of stock options? They're not even just trading stocks. They're doing options. Let's get back to the clip. Ana Kasparian, Young Turks. Looks like she's giving props to Joy Reid, in a way, a backhanded compliment. But AOC, Jasmine Crockett, let's hear what they have to say.
And to be more specific, this week, we learned that while AOC, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was trying to win a leadership role in the House Oversight Committee, Nancy Pelosi was behind the scenes whipping up votes against her to ensure that a more moderate Democrat, Representative Jerry Connolly, who's 74 years old and is currently suffering from cancer, would be named the leader, Democratic leader of this committee instead. And so I'm real curious to get your thoughts, Waz, because for the most part, I mean, I agreed with what Joy Reid was saying, and I don't agree with her often these days.
I rarely agree with Joy Reid when it comes to what the Democrats are doing or what they should be doing and what's right and what's wrong. But I think it's obvious that everybody understands this gerontocracy situation is bad. It's bad for business. Like, this idea that you can be dynamic and reach a mass audience with, these freaking people that you got to wheel across the damn stage or on crutches, and they basically got to eat in public with a damn bib on. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I would say that's a problem. Let me rattle off these ages real quick. We'll get back to this. House of Representatives, we have Steny Hoyer, 85. Eddie Johnson, 85. Hal Rogers, 86. Bill Pascrell, 87. Grace Napolitano, 88. In the Senate, Jim Inhofe, 80. Richard Shelby, 80. Mitch McConnell, 82. Just fell and stroked it out every other day. Bernie Sanders is 83 years old. And wait for this, y'all. Wait for this. He just won re-election. Wait for this. I gotta look this up, man. This can't be right. I looked up to see. I know this dude was old, but I gotta look this up. You might know who I'm talking about, the oldest in there. How old is this dude? Just won. I gotta look this up. I'm looking it up right now as I'm recording, and I'm not stopping. This is unbelievable right here. Unbelievable. This is Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley won another 6-year term. He is currently 91 years old. I'm going to repeat that one more time. At age 89, he won re-election. in November of 2022. I'm going to say that one more time. And I'm saying it and I'm breathing in slowly. So what's the point of getting angry? It's not going to change. I'm talking to myself right now. I'm talking to myself. I'm being very serious right now to just keep calm. We elected someone who is 91 years old, or he was 89 at the time. His 6-year term won't end until he's 95. He ran for re-election at 89 years of age. Let's get back to Ana Kasparian, the Young Turks. Joy Reid had a legitimate topic. Who's the young ones? We need the young ones back in there. Let's go.
And I'm not trying to be ageist here, but just look at it looks insane.
Just to be clear, I am.
And then, when they come out and say like, oh, we're the party that has the best interests of the country and blah, blah, blah. And they do this stuff like just nakedly grab for power at every single turn. Like everybody knows that's the wrong move. What I will say, man, and if you ever watch a Nancy Pelosi interview and she's talking about her machinations behind the scenes, she's a freaking mob boss. And I think what she would say to AOC is, why don't you whip up the votes? Okay? You don't have the power, so shut up. You got to take the power. Basically,
spoiler alert. That is going to be my takeaway. If you stick through it, give the comment a like, comment, subscribe. Let me hear what you think. Do you care about the age of these people? I mean, I'm going to talk about some more. There's more to talk about, but he's telling him the takeaway. He's spoiling it right now. Finish him.
Finish him. Practically, they're saying, you got to kill us yourselves at the ballot box. You got to have more progressives in the caucus.
Just to be clear.
So that, these freaking corporate, moderate, centrist, whatever euphemism we want to call these Democrats, so that we can actually defeat them.
That's such a great point, Waz, because so far AOC has tried the approach of cozying up to people like Nancy Pelosi, calling her mama bear, complimenting her. She came in, she got voted into Congress to fight the Democratic establishment. And in the very beginning, she did. But she caved to them pretty quickly. And look, I can imagine how uncomfortable it is to find yourself in a workplace that's incredibly hostile toward you. But that's what you got voted in for. And so no one is going to hand her a leadership position, because right now, the standard operating procedure for the Democratic Party in Congress is we have protocols. Seniority is the number one priority. You have to pay your dues and you have to wait your turn. And understand that's all about their own sense of entitlement. It's not about what is best for constituents, what is best in terms of securing policy wins that Democrats purport to want to pass. It's all about this person's waited their turn. It reminds me of what happened with Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election.
Yeah.
Right? All of the games that were being played during that Democratic primary, not to ensure that the best possible candidate was going to run against Donald Trump, but to ensure that someone who was really rising, skyrocketing in popularity at the time, of course, Senator Bernie Sanders, wouldn't have a chance, right? I remember all the little games that they played. And it's just incredible because, of course, there were a lot of denials about those strategies to essentially prevent Sanders from winning the primary. But then during this past election cycle, all of a sudden you have Democratic lawmakers who came out and just totally admitted it on cable news.
Yeah, and you know what? I think about the other side, and we've talked about this on the show, Anna, about what Matt Gaetz and them could do in the freaking House caucus, where on the Republican side, where they could have a direct hand in picking the freaking speaker. Okay, I think part of that is their megaphone, man. They could get certain political.
Wait a second. This is forced the vote here. That what they're talking about is Matt Gaetz and others and the MAGA side, people that I used to support much more than I do now, but they did good things. They put pressure on the speaker vote when initially before McCarthy won, and got real concessions from him, and then ousted him, even though it came into Mike Johnson, and he's the same thing as McCarthy. But they got real pressure. But here's the thing: has anybody on the left? I'm just watching the left more often now, so I'm missing some things. Did Ana Kasparian ever admit that they were wrong? To my knowledge, Jimmy Dore, if you don't know on the left, said AOC and the squad should force the vote for getting concessions from Nancy Pelosi or getting somebody else as speaker. Back when Nancy was voted, was that 2020, wasn't it? Whenever that happened. And Jimmy Dore said, you got to force the vote. And I don't believe, you tell me, I don't believe Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, they have beef with Jimmy. I don't think they agreed with him. Did they ever admit they were wrong? I went against Jimmy, but I was from a different standpoint. I was talking about, it was possible when you do the force the vote, you're dividing up the votes. It's possible that when you do that, the other side can win. So when Matt Gaetz and them were playing that game, not the game, but forcing the concessions, it's possible that McCarthy, or it's possible that Hakeem Jeffries could have got picked. Same with force the vote. It was possible that playing around with the votes with Pelosi, that Kevin McCarthy could have been picked. People on the left were wrong about that. They said it wasn't possible. Of course it was possible. I showed the math. I did a spreadsheet. What I was wrong about is, who cares? That's the point, is to leverage that possibility into concessions. Let's get back and finish this off. I'm going to go off. That wasn't even what I really want to go off about.
Conservative media entities to echo what they're saying. Like, I think